2, 1. Hi, everybody. This is Zen Honeycutt of Moms Across America, and I am so excited today to bring to you a solution. We all know that our water is highly contaminated, glyphosate, all types of carcinogenic chemicals, and I'm here today with an expert from Water and Wellness, the co-founder. He is a chief science officer, a water technology scientist for 47 years, Robert Slovak. Welcome. It's such a pleasure.
Hi, Zen. Hi. Across America attendees.
Great. Thank you for being with us today. We have a super special offer for everybody. We're so excited to offer a solution. So many people ask us, what do we do about our water? And we have a solution today. It's called AquaTru. But first, before we get into what it does and how it works, can you tell us, Robert, why is it so important to purify your water today?
Well, in the modern industrial world, we probably all have been educated that there's a lot of contamination, everything from disinfection byproducts to pharmaceuticals to synthetics and industrial chemicals and radioactivity, etc. And this has found its way even through the best municipal water treatment plants. And there's so much written about it that I think the public has largely been aware that there's not perfect water coming out of our taps.
Yeah, just recently, USA Today reported that in 2015, they now know, they've tracked that 21 million people in America are drinking water that has contamination above the, or which violates the health safety standards. So right. This is happening. It's not just in Flint, folks. It's happening right in our suburban neighborhood.
Even those health safety standards, which are the EPA water specifications for public water supplies, even those are a compromise. It is largely determined on what is affordable water, what can we do, how many contaminants can we remove. And with the amount of money that's allocated to it, there's a lot that simply gets through to the consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's more awareness happening too. There's a new movie called The Devil We Know, if you haven't seen it, about the contamination from the chemicals from Teflon and the Dow company. So if you haven't seen it, that's really important. And just recently in the news, PFOS and PFOA, am I saying that right? Were this current
PFOSs.
Yeah, but this current administration refused to set a limit for how much of that could be in our water. That's very concerning. It's highly carcinogenic, isn't it?
And that's part of the reason. What's the expense to the consumer of removing it? And it simply gets voted down because it can't be removed economically at this time. We have to depend upon our own water treatment within our home and within our dwelling to be able to remove these sophisticated chemicals that have found their way into the water supply.
That's a very good point. We can no longer depend on our local water district or our government to remove these harmful chemicals. No. That's a sad fact. So we have a solution, this AquaTru filter. I'm especially excited about it because it has been shown to remove glyphosate. And oh dear, I don't have the sheet, but we did test for glyphosate, and you did as well, and it's been shown to remove glyphosate out of the water, and that's a very tricky endeavor. Glyphosate is very difficult to remove, so we're really excited about that. Thank you for testing for that.
You are very welcome.
So can you tell us how does AquaTru work, and particularly how is it better than other filters?
So there are really three primary methods of treating water supply at, we call the point of use, or POU, meaning in your home at some location to supply drinking water, water for cooking, etc., for your family. And one is the most simple of the filters, activated carbon filters. And these can be very good, but can't really handle the full range of what's been exposed in our water supply. And then there's distillation plus activated carbon. This is an excellent method of purifying water. And this is more than a filter. So distillation plus activated carbon is a sophisticated method, but it really never caught on because it's not very consumer friendly and it's quite expensive to boil water and recondense it, etc. Perhaps well over 90% of the bottled water companies that we respect in the world use a process called reverse osmosis. And it's a membrane separation technology that I've been involved in really since the early 1970s and helped develop it through till today. And
That's
this
right.
is
I forgot to mention that you've been working on this for 47 years in water technology. So Robert knows a thing or two about this.
So my company has built point of use RO systems, point of entry RO systems for almost 45 years. Okay.
Okay.
So my brother and I were among the real early developers of this technology. The AquaTru is a miniature bottled water plant, literally. It's a 4-stage system, way more than a filter system. It's a purification system that includes reverse osmosis, membrane separation, perhaps one of the great discoveries of the last century. It is used in every industry to make bottled water, to make laboratory water, to desalinate seawater, to make it fresh. It just goes on and on what its capability is. And then finally, the water passes through a final activated carbon filter to kind of polish the water, we say. And this in the system, that 4-stage system is found under this.
Yeah, this is the
side. It's easy. This just pulls off. And these filters, which can easily twist off, and you get these filters separately in the box. You push them and twist them in, and they kind of fold down so you have easy access to them. Okay?
Yep.
And each of them will do that. We won't take them out now because of the time constraints, et cetera, et cetera. And then when they can be changed or installed at the beginning, you just put this. I'm not having a good leverage point.
Oh, yeah, it just snaps back on pretty easy. And it looks huge. You're looking at me on this camera, this angle. It looks huge, but it's actually the size of, I would say, about 2 gallons of water, like the size of it.
Well, it's basically 14 inches by 14 inches by 11 inches. So yeah, it's pretty small. And those of you who can see me, you can pick it up, you can move it. And what's great about this is that it really doesn't require an installation. You don't have to hook it up to anything. And that's a great problem these days, is to hook up filters to all this difference of faucets that are at kitchen sinks now. Some have sprayers and you can't hook them up. And then there's under sink installations, which are complicated, require professional service and installation people. But this is very—
Hang on a second, Robert, though, because how you sold me on this was what I had a reverse osmosis under the sink, big tank. And because we detected glyphosate in our water and we wanted to get it out, so we installed reverse osmosis and it did remove it. However, you mentioned that with that tank, there's something that a lot of people need to avoid, which is that it can grow microbes under the sink. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, perhaps one of the dirty little secrets of permanently installed conventional RO and filter systems is that in that environment, and with the tank that you are speaking of that goes with conventional RO systems, it becomes like a microbial incubator. Oh. And people never drain and use enough water from that tank. So it stays filled, not for weeks, not for just months, but even for years. The same water can remain in there because people never drain the tank. And I would warn, when I give talks to various consumer groups that are associated with special health problems, like the autism community, I would speak to this autism community and warn them that this can be very hazardous to your child's microbiome and their gut issues, et cetera, et cetera. And I would tell them, you have to drain this every other day, completely. And then you may even have to use a sterilizing method to kill the remaining bacteria. Well, I'm so happy to have discovered that this product does not give this problem. There is no—
Yeah, and that's because I just want to point out, you simply fill up the back section here, and you just—
I'll demonstrate. So I've actually filled this with water. You remove it, bring it to your faucet, fill it with water, put it back in, and it
And then
actually
it comes out the front, right here.
very smart. It's a very smart system. So it knows when you've put this in place and filled with water, and the built-in internal pumps automatically started. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's very, very quiet. It starts, and it's actually forcing this water you put in from your tap through this four-stage filter system, and the product and highly treated water is coming out in this carafe. And it's running now, and it's filling it. It will make almost 3 liters. And if you pull it off, it automatically stops. It knows it's not there. And you can use this water and fill your coffee pot by pushing this button, or you can get the water directly from here just by. And it's made this much water already. So it fills this up in quite a short time.
Yeah, and so it's pretty quick. I would say for my family, we have actually 6 here now. We do fill it a couple of times a day, and we also add minerals to it. And can you mention now, and then we're going to answer some questions. So those of you who are asking questions, we are going to get to
well over 20 gallons a day. It can run and easily 20 gallons a day.
Yeah. So you can get plenty.
Reverse osmosis does is this is a rule of water purification. If you want to remove the laundry list or the alphabet of contaminants in water, the only way to do it is to remove everything. And that includes what some people consider minerals in the water. Now, tap water so varies in minerals that some tap water has almost none, some tap water has too much. There's no ideal tap water mineralization. So we like the idea of removing everything from the water, including any minerals in the water, and then remineralizing that. What we've chosen to remineralize that with is the ultimate in minerals and trace elements. Because it's not just minerals you want, it's trace elements are the most important thing. How many are there? Well, there's over 70. And people are not really educated in this. So we have something that is actually harvested from the ocean. And actually, it's been harvested from the ocean, this very product, since 1897. This is the world standard of minerals and trace elements. And for almost all of the 20th century, this has also served as a medicine in Europe. So it's a very sophisticated product, but it contains 78 minerals and trace elements. And you peel off this convenient little seal on top. And in each one of these, you just pour it in. And you've just populated this water with all 78 minerals and trace elements. And you let this fill up. And now you have the water with this abundance of nutritional minerals and trace elements.
And this one, I would say this is important to do once a day, but you don't have to do this for the water that you're making your coffee with or that you're using to cook your spaghetti, right? Yeah.
And also, this product is designed to be consumed even directly. We have advised that
just like this.
you are suffering from mineral and trace element deficiency, which are most, that it can be consumed directly.
Great. Okay. So we have the reverse osmosis, which does remove all of the bad stuff that we want removed. We have a question from Heather. She asks, does it remove fluoride and pharmaceutical chemicals, and how often do we change the filtration?
Great question. It does remove fluoride. Over 93% of any fluoride that's in the water. And it also removes the combination of the reverse osmosis membrane and the activated carbon removes the full array of not only pharmaceuticals, endocrine disruptors, but it also removes a newer category of contaminant that's personal care products. All the things that get in the water, especially if water is recycled in your community, which it often is. So there's everything. There's eyeliner, and residue from lipstick and so many other lotions and everything that we dispose of that finds its way, they found, back into the water supply.
There's just so many things to think about. I don't even want to think about how many things there are to think about.
There are hundreds of those things.
Yeah, I'm so glad that this takes it out. Now, people might be wondering why we mentioned the minerals, and I just want to touch on that again, because one thing that you mentioned to me, sorry, I don't know how to remove this, but.
Well, let me finish. Was it Heather's question?
Yes.
Let me finish Heather's question.
Oh, right. How often do we change
filters last? So this tells you when to change the filter. And filters, there's two levels of the filters. There's stage 1 and 2, and there's stage 4. And those filters are typically, maybe for a family of 4, changed about a year. And this indicates it here in this display right in front of the AquaTru. And if the light, this display cycles through the various stages the water passes through. But if one of the lights stays on, then one should change that filter. And usually you change 1, 2, and 4 at the same time. That would be about a year. The membrane, typically in the order of 2 years.
Okay, so then that would be filter number 3.
Filter number 3.
Right, okay, so that would be every 2 years. Okay, great. Now back to the question. I just want to make sure we cover the minerals that we mentioned earlier, which was
minerals always. Everybody should get used to thinking minerals aren't the whole story. Minerals and trace elements. The biggest problem is that the trace elements are missing from the soil, and therefore it's not in your produce, etc. The fundamental minerals we think of, calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, are typically still in the soil, but the trace elements are gone. And that's what's so rare about the quintessential supplement for the AquaTru, is that it supplies not only minerals, but the entire range of trace elements.
Yeah, and this is important. You explained to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but that if you don't put in trace elements in the minerals, then your body, in order to process the water, sort of chelates out the calcium from your bones, and it's actually really not good for you. So you do need to ingest minerals when you're—
In the extreme, if one consumed only for a long time water without any minerals in it, such as distilled water, and that's why we should always remineralize distilled water too. But if you drank this continually, your body would sense a deficit of these minerals for its various processes, metabolic processes, enzymatic processes, and so on. And because of that, if it needs it, it's going to take it from the bones as its first and easiest source of minerals.
Okay, so for long term, we really do need to put minerals in. Yeah, a couple glasses of water is not going to hurt you, but long term, we definitely need to put one with minerals. Okay, so we have a question from Awilina, if I don't know if I'm saying that correct. How many years does the AquaTru system last?
With filter changes, I mean, I've had mine almost 3 years going, probably most of the day. Because in our office we use a tremendous amount of water, but I certainly would expect it to be a 5 to 10 year lasting product and beyond.
Okay, great. And I want to mention that Water and Wellness is going to be handling the customer service. So you've partnered with the manufacturers, and Water and Wellness, your company, will be handling customer service for this. So if you do have questions, they have people that can answer your questions. You'll not be going to Moms Across America about this, because this is an affiliate for us. So they will be shipping directly to you, and they'll be handling the customer service on that. So let's see if we have any other questions. I'm sure everybody's going to be curious too on how much it's going to cost, and we're going to go through our offer, but I just want to see if there's any other questions first. So yeah, we did have somebody who was concerned about the pricing, but we're actually not charging $450, as some people have seen in other places. Our pricing is actually going to be $399 with a 5% discount, and that comes out to $379.50. This is for moms across America, for our community. And Robert has agreed to throw in a box of the quintessentials. So this is a $44 value, which you'll be getting along with your order. So you really are saving quite a bit of money there. And we want to thank you very much.
This is the icing on the cake.
Yes, yeah, we're very, very excited about these. These are great minerals. I have had people tell me, one of my friends said that she was having a lot of menstrual problems, like very heavy flow and very moody, like unable to function some days. And she started taking these minerals, and that month, everything calmed down for her. Everything sorted itself out, and she feels much healthier and much more able to function and live her life. And she's got 2 little kids, so that's very important. And I've also had people say that this has helped them when they were attempting to get pregnant, and for many, many years, and they started taking their minerals, and they got pregnant and were able to deliver healthy children. So your minerals are super important for many health issues, including fertility and for the female cycle.
Very good. I'm glad you mentioned that. First, this is a world-class, world-famous product that's been around. Now it's almost in its 125th year. And it is in so many medical books, etc., as supporting so many physiological functions. And it's so great that we're able to combine it with this product as the creme de la creme of minerals and trace elements.
Yes, and to answer Janet's question, are the filters, mineral, and trace elements all sold separately? They can be, but for this offer with Moms Across America, when you go to momsacrossamerica.org on our website and you click on our Health Solutions store, we have a special landing page there where you will be able to find out more information on this offer, and you will get the minerals, the filter, the reverse osmosis filters are right into the unit. And
they're sold separately. You can buy them anytime and receive
and you can buy them
1 or 2 or 3 filters.
Yep. So that's great. And yeah, this is the best deal that we've heard of as well. And you can buy it on momsacrossamerica.org. Are there any other questions that anybody has? We have time with Robert if you have more questions. This is something that's been we've been waiting to do this for such a long time. I've had my unit now, it seems like several months, but we wanted to make sure that we tested over and over again to make sure that it does remove glyphosate. And I'm so happy that we were able to prove that it does remove
Really,
glyphosate.
that's a big challenge that it rose to the occasion.
Yes, it absolutely did. Absolutely. And okay, so let's see, can you tell us a little bit more about any of the other differences with any other filters? I mean, if people are thinking that they have one of the carbon, filters where you just sort of pour it in, how might, again, this be different?
I mean, carbon is activated carbon is an excellent filtration method, but it falls short of the real difficult modern, it's great for chlorine. It maybe is not as good for chloramine, but it can't remove fluoride. It can't remove glyphosate. It can't remove pharmaceutical products. It can't remove personal care products. So it's just a little bit obsolete for today's challenges of contaminants in our water supply. So the 2 ultimate technologies are distillation plus activated carbon and reverse osmosis plus activated carbon. And reverse osmosis, that's why it's chosen by the bottled water companies, because it's so much more user-friendly and you don't have to use a lot of energy, etc. And you're looking at the preferred method to remove salt from seawater. That's probably the most difficult thing in the world to convert to drinkable pure water. And virtually all the world's systems use the reverse osmosis process.
Yeah, it's an amazing process. So Awilina asks, how can you clean the back and front water containers? This is something
very simple. First, they're dishwasher safe. Okay. And if you are, let's just say, fanatical, and you want to not just clean them, and you can wash them, rinse them, Perhaps the best way to clean them, if you really, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, is to put a capful of white vinegar in it, fill it with water, let it sit for 30 minutes, and dispense with the water. You can also, of course, put them in the dishwasher. If you are fanatical to where you actually want to sanitize them, all you have to do is start with the containers of water, put a capful of hydrogen peroxide in, wait 5 to 10 minutes, dump it out. You don't even have to rinse it out. It will just, it converts to water anyway, very quickly. So you just turn the machine on again and you're ready to go. No other system can you do this to.
We had somebody concerned about algae possibly being able to grow in it, but that's not going to happen if you sanitize it with hydrogen peroxide or
correct
what you just mentioned,
correct.
right? And you clean it.
And the algae, I mean, you know, there are algae. I mean, right now we are all breathing algae spores that are in the air. Okay, so if you keep these containers, and if you know, algae is not a contaminant. You know, okay, we consume algae and pay a lot of money for it, but if there were any possibility, you can just clean this and sanitize it. But I have not seen it with my system in 3 years.
Great. Okay. And Judy asks, how much are the replacement filters?
The replacement filters, if you were to buy the bundle of all three, are less than $90.
Less than 90. Okay. So you're saying once a year, you're going to need to.
No, you only need two once a year, two of them.
Okay, two
and
of them.
Those, I think they're about maybe $30 or $35 for the both. Okay. And I'm, you know, I should have perhaps been better prepared, and I'm more the scientist than the financial advisor. So they're incredibly reasonable, but you only have to change the first two in about a year. If you are just two people, that will last longer, but it will be kept tracked. This monitor here automatically tracks your need for changing filters.
Okay,
and
great.
The manual is superb that comes with this.
The manual, okay, yeah. Easy. I know it. My husband set it up. It was easy for us, and
you can set this up in less than 10 minutes for sure.
Yeah, less than 10 minutes, absolutely. Yeah, I just love that you can take this whole first section off, you know, and you can move it around the house if you need to move it for guests that are coming.
Yes. Another thing you can do is that we do have an option that you can order actually a second one of these carafes, okay? So
Right.
Some people who like cold water, they can take this, make one, put minerals in it, and put it in their refrigerator, and then they have water ready right from their refrigerator shelf to drink it, mineralized water, and then they can put the other carafe in and continue to make water, and perhaps don't mineralize that water and use it for cooking spaghetti, steaming broccoli, whatever.
Yeah, it's great. My son wakes up in the morning and gets 2 giant thermoses. He brings his water to school with him, and
Fantastic.
He runs, right? So he doesn't want to ingest the water that's at the water fountains at the school, and he puts his mineral in. So when I get up, there's almost no water left. So we need to, I think, need to get a second one of these front, containers.
And it makes it very quickly. I mean, it'll fill this up in 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, it does make it very quickly. So it can be going while you're preparing your dinner, while you're chopping your vegetables. If you need water for, boiling or steaming some vegetables, and you want to use filtered or purified water, it'll just take a few minutes to fill this up. And how much would you say this is? Somebody asked how much is in this. Would you say it's like
it's almost 3 liters. In the front one, right?
Yeah, the front one.
Almost 3 liters, like 2.7 liters, I think is the exact figure.
It looks to me like about half a gallon. I don't think in liters.
A little more.
A little more than half a gallon. Okay. Oh, yes. And one thing we do need to mention is that the back unit, once you put the water in to filter, the back unit is going to have this leftover water. Can you explain that? Can you explain that?
Yes. So RO water or an RO membrane does not contain or absorb or retain the impurities. This is one of its great advantages over all other filter systems, which capture the contaminants. And so the filter continually is losing its capability. Sometimes carbon filters, if it even reaches capacity for one contaminant and it gets more, it can throw other contaminants back into your drinking water. RO systems operate totally differently. They actually reject all this list of contaminants and place it in what we call rejected or flush water or rinse water. And at the end, a certain amount of water remains in the container in the back, and before you fill it, you dump this water out. This is what's containing the contaminants. If you were to look at the membrane, even in 2 years, it would look just like it was when it was brand new. So this is one of the most unique aspects of the reverse osmosis technology, and why it's chosen by the world's masters of all the applications for pure water.
And when I was a little disturbed about throwing away this much water, I mean, I could put it in my garden, really, but when I was disturbed about that, you reminded me that under the sink tank, it filters, it basically, the water loss is almost 85% of it. Is that?
Yes. This is like, again, one of the other dirty, besides the microbial growth, it is one of the other, I don't know, we could say dirty little secrets of conventional RO systems. This, by a factor of 300%, is the most efficient RO system in the world.
Yeah, so you're going to
it really is very conservative with its water use. And you're right, Zen, that you can put this water in your garden. You can put it back in your toilet if you want. You can put it on your plants, etc. So it really doesn't end up being a waste factor. And we are such wasters of water already. This is doesn't even show up on the radar screen.
Right. And by garden, I just mean my yard. I don't mean on my food, just for the people who are thinking, take the contaminants of water or food. But I just put it out in my bushes and stuff like that. But you don't have to freak out about wasting so much water, because if you were using reverse osmosis tank under the sink, you would be wasting a lot more water, far more water.
Way more.
Yeah, way more. So
4 to 5 times more.
Yeah, but keep in mind, folks, you don't want to just add more water into this. You have to dump it out in order for it to filter properly, right? You got each time.
Absolutely.
You got to dump it out. And don't try to put hot water in here. Just follow the directions. Use cold water and empty it out every time. There's a nice little handle here so that you can pick it up. And it's very easy to use. I'm really, really happy. I hear that you have all types of water companies asking you for this technology, or the makers, that this is being highly sought after from many different water companies. Yes. And we're very lucky to be able to get it at this price, because on larger scales, this technology costs, thousands of dollars, right?
One neat thing is that, if you have a summer home, or even if you have an RV, you can just pack this up and put it in the RV and travel with it and make water from wherever you travel. You can put it in your summer home, and which probably has a lot of stagnant water in the pipes, etc., and just put it on the counter. And if you're there for 1 or 2 weeks, use this water, put it back in the trunk of your car, and drive it home.
Really great. Yeah, it is that portable. You definitely can't take it under the tank, under the sink tank, reverse osmosis filter.
Right.
Like that. And folks, you're not buying plastic bottled water. We really have to remove this addiction that we have to plastic bottled water, and buying that every single time you go to grocery.
It's such an environmental crisis, I should say.
Yeah, it's a crisis. Yes, it really is. So you're not going to be buying that plastic bottled water. So that's really important. You're benefiting. Okay, so somebody's asking, where's the Moms Across America affiliate link? I'm sorry, folks. I need somebody on my team to post that. I thought that we would be posting that. Maybe somebody on the team. If you've gone to momsacrossamerica.org, I don't know, maybe I can do it. I don't know about this technology here. But we will be posting the link below for that. And let's see so Judy's asking, what about ammonia? They are using that here in our water. And what if we just put distilled water in it? Can you answer that?
Well, and first of all, there would be no need to, it would be very redundant, a waste of money to put distilled water in it. You can, but distilled water, if it's properly made, et cetera, it would just be a redundant process, because I said distillation plus activated carbon is also an effective method. And it's only that plus reverse osmosis and activated carbon that really satisfy that requirement. But the ammonia is used in a different way. Yes, you don't want to drink ammonia, but it really doesn't end up as ammonia. The ammonia is really combined with the chlorine to form something called chloramines. And the chloramines is a disinfection method to kill bacteria in water pipes and city water lines. This removes all the chloramines from the water. So, there's not like regular just ammonia in the water. It's in the form of chloramines, and this removes it quite easily.
That's great. Okay, so I'm going to show the affiliate link. Let's see if I can show that. Nope. Sorry, it's momsacrossamerica.org/water. Momsacrossamerica or .com. Momsacrossamerica.com or .org/water. So I'm going to see if I can put that up there. No, right now it's not letting me show that. Sorry, folks. And we'll add that later. momsacrossamerica.com/water. Somebody put the link. She did a tiny URL. So that's Desiree. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. Do we have any other questions from anybody for Robert? You've got a water expert here. Oh, Elwina asks, what does the water taste like? It tastes good to me, and especially
it is the most neutral, refreshing water. Everyone does. We bring this to shows, and we cannot even keep it going enough, because everybody in the show is coming by and getting this water. So it passes the taste test with flying colors.
Yeah, it's great. I have to say, I went to a conference recently in Central Coast, California. I was so disturbed that the water smelled. You could smell the chemicals.
Sure. And don't forget, the best bottled waters in the world are made with exactly nothing more than this. It's just bigger.
Yeah. So that's the story. Let's see. Any other questions that we have?
And then you should, I invite you to ask them if they want to perhaps write in some questions to you, especially challenging ones. I'm happy to answer as many as I can if you forward them to me. Okay,
great. Yeah. So after this, if anybody has any questions, please do reach out to info@momsacrossamerica.org, and we can forward those on to Robert and his team. They have a great team, and they will take care of you as far as customer service goes. And, just consider this, how much water would you be spending over the next 5 or 10 years? I mean, how much would you be spending on bottled water from your grocery store that has basically just been reverse osmosis and not necessarily with minerals added in and all that, but you're buying plastic, and you're buying plastic, and it's just, here you have it in your home. You're not buying plastic bottled water. You're able to continually create more for yourself. And, it's $3.79 plus the quintessential minerals is a great deal. You're saving at least $100 from what I know that's out there right now. And we do sell the quintessential on continuously on our website on momsacrossamerica.org. So you can buy more of that on our website.
And then,
yes.
And no bottled water includes this variety of 70 plus trace elements. Nothing.
Oh, no, yes, none at all. Yeah, this is very special. It's also from a nature preserve, right? The area of the ocean is protected.
Yes, it's a protected area by the International Oceanographic Institutes.
And the minerals in it basically mimic what's in the womb, is how you explain that to me.
And your body fluids. Yeah. I mean, this is almost identical to amniotic fluid and your blood plasma, because in evolution, your body fluids evolved, like your blood plasma actually evolved from seawater.
And And that is so important because we need to, at this point in time, most of us don't have the minerals and trace elements that we should have because our farming system has depleted those minerals. I mean, I've been reading this book called The Secret Life of Plants, and he talks about how the fertilizer actually prevents the plant's ability to uptake magnesium and vitamin D and things like that. Like there's so many different vitamins and minerals that are not in our food anymore because the farming system, not just glyphosate chelating it, right, holding and making those vital minerals, vital nutrients unavailable to any living thing it touches, right? Not just glyphosate, but the fertilizers are also preventing the soil and the plant's ability to give us those nutrients that we normally have. So we need to continuously supplement with trace minerals and elements. I'm so glad that you were able to make this special offer to our Moms Across America friends and let them try this for the first time for free. It's really fantastic. Oh, and I have my water test results so that you can see here that, see, this is the top, your water, where there was not detectable level of glyphosate. And the Sacramento water, you can see from this, did have glyphosate in it. And I mean, that's the, the control group. And then the European maximum residue level, there you go. So you can see that.
Glyphosate is everywhere.
What's that?
Glyphosate is everywhere.
It is. It's in the rain.
Yep.
It's in the air. It's in our water. It's in our food supply. So really important to reduce our exposure to glyphosate as much as possible. So I'm really happy that we have this here. And there was something else I was going to say about the quintessential minerals, but I just...
Well, one thing I can add that would be interesting for those of you who really are curious about this need for minerals and trace elements, I suggest you search for a YouTube video by Professor August Dunning, D-U-N-N-I-N-G. He's a professor at Caltech University. And he himself, one of his great revelations of his own life, was the significance of the full periodic table of minerals and trace elements, which this contains uniquely. And August Dunning actually makes a prediction in his video. He said, if we do not restore the minerals and full spectrum of trace elements in our diet, he said, I don't give mankind much more than 8 more generations. That's how dire it is to him. It's a fascinating video.
Yeah, very important to have your trace minerals. I've had people say that their parents, I mean, my father lives with us and he has mild dementia. He came to us with 11 different medications, and now he's down to 2. We feed him all organic. He gets his minerals. He's reading the book now, Secret Life of Plants. He read A Brief History in Time, by Stephen Hawkins. I mean, his mental capacity is so much sharper than it was when he first came to us a year ago. So that's minerals fantastic. They're super, super important. And let's see, how often do we take the minerals? Evelina wants to ask. And is Poland spring water reverse osmosis? So let's go with how often do we take minerals first?
Poland Springs water is just... a Poland Springs, I can't remember if it's owned by Arrowhead or Nestle, okay? One of the large bottled water companies owns Poland Springs. But when one says that you are spring water, if they still make this claim on the bottle, and I assume they do, then you have to be really from untreated. You can filter dirt out of it, etc., but you have to be unfiltered from a natural water source that is registered as a spring. So it's a natural spring water, and there are many great natural spring waters. It's just a lot more expensive. And even Poland Springs, perhaps it contains, let's say, certainly less than 15 minerals and trace elements could be identified in Poland Springs, where this is 78. So there's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference. Great. Okay. And then she also asked how often to take the minerals.
I think it's a very vast subject. It depends upon maybe your state of health, your activity level, etc. But typically, there's many reasons to put it in your drinking water. But if you were actively pursuing a very healthy lifestyle, we would recommend that you actually take one of these in addition to drinking mineralized and trace element water, enhanced water, to take one of these per day, orally.
One a day.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's what I do. It just seems to really kickstart me. It feels great.
Yeah. No,
I also
fantastic.
Yeah, and I also notice when I'm craving something like salty and crispy and all, like that it's usually a craving for minerals, that your body's deficient of minerals. So it can actually stop my cravings. Like I don't have to have as many snacks at 10 o'clock at night or something like that if I remember to take this consistently, which really helps. Okay, so we have a question from Lauren. She asked, just curious, not that I would take it camping, but if I did, would it filter spring or creek water sufficiently and make it safe for consumption?
Yes, it would.
It would. Great.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And please understand that this does plug in because it has its own built-in pressure pump. Okay.
Yes, you need a plug.
So I don't want you to bring this out into your tent and realize that you don't have a plug to plug it in.
Well, a lot of campgrounds now do have electric.
Oh, sure.
So, that is
I mean, a regular campground, obviously, you can make the water. And it makes it so quickly, you could just bring it to where they have the plug and plug it in and maybe share it with many of your camping partners.
Yeah. And I would urge people to use this water for cooking as well, for when you're boiling your vegetables or adding a little bit of water into steam things.
Correct.
You want to make sure that you're not, putting those chemicals into the food that you're serving your family. It's really very important.
So we actually have a publication that I'm not sure if it's on the Moms Across America website yet. It is a pamphlet that's the many uses of your AquaTru water. And it really goes through fascinating options for using this water beyond drinking and cooking. And one I'll just mention, because probably there's a lot of women out there, is that let's say you live in a hard water area and you don't have a water softener, etc., and you're always worried your hair has lost its shine, etc. One of the greatest things women tell me is that they just bring a small amount, maybe a half a liter of this into the shower. They wash their hair, rinse their hair, and the little final rinse, they just pour AquaTru water on their hair, and it's a different hair evolves.
I am going to try that. I have.
Please do. It's in the booklet. It describes it.
I have felt like it's lost its luster, its shine. Like I'm like, what do I need to do?
No, you have to do this.
Wow, I'm going to try that. Yeah, because my water filter is just one of those basic carbon ones that, on the shower head, we can't afford a full system thing. Yeah. And so I'm concerned about that. But that would be really neat to try. I'd like to see that, how it improves your hair.
Shower filters, in my opinion, there are really no great shower filters out there. They do remove odors and chlorine, and that's about their total limitation. And there's a lot of fabricated reporting on shower filter capability, and they use very clever wording, but basically there's no serious shower filter out there other than one that can remove chlorine. And it's nice to remove chlorine from your shower water, but it's very easy also.
Well, I'm really excited about this. Oh, can we also mention your new spokesperson or a person that's joined your team for AquaTru filter, the AquaTru system? You
can.
Okay, so we're so excited that Erin Brockovich is now on the team of AquaTru. And, she has just been the champion for water contamination, for eliminating water contamination. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen her movie, then you definitely need to see that. Yes. So we're very excited about that. And we know that she has very high and strict standards. And we also know that you do, Robert. I mean, having a reputation of 40 plus years in the water industry, that you would not promote or endorse of any type of filter or purification process unless it really works.
I truly consider this the crowning glory design of a home drinking water appliance of my entire 47-year career.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on with us. Thank you for everybody who was on with us today. If you have any further questions, please go to email us at info@momsacrossamerica.org. Please go to our website at momsacrossamerica.com or .org/water. And please do try this out. It's $3.79 and you get the quintessentials. This is a great deal. Robert and Water and Wellness team have been very generous to offer this to you. This is a $44 value on its own. And this unit has been sold for over $450, I believe, in many other places. So here we go. I'm going to try to get the camera back on here to AquaTru. So thank you very much, everybody, for being on with us.
Thank you, moms, and thank you, Zed.
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate
Have a good weekend.
Yes. And yes, it does filter fluoride out. We talked about that in the beginning of the show.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody. Take care.